Hello, everyone, and I'm back here today with the sixth episode of Market Trailblazer series. And like I promised last time, I would be back to speak with a wonderful guest to speak on a very important topic. Now, the topic that I had in mind when I promised to you last time was to speak about internet marketing, and that's something we see people normally having questions about, a lot of query, and a lot of information being passed around on internet, and all these things happening. Now, everybody might agree if I said that internet is a sea of opportunity. So all businesses, big, small, everyone out there is actually trying to make a place for themselves on social media and internet in some way. So compared to what we used to do as marketers ourselves in the traditional way, now center stage is internet marketing. So that's the truth. Everyone knows it. Now there are a lot of people doing things the right way. I don't say a lot of people. I would say some people doing things the right way and getting the right results, while there is a bigger percentage of people still experimenting, trying to understand the nuances of what works and what does not. And there is another big, huge chunk of people who have tried their luck, tried many things, anything and everything, and probably now kind of given up and remain silent spectators of what's happening, trying to learn things. So that's how I see three different categories of marketeers emerging, or I mean, existing right now on the internet. So I myself have a lot of questions about what works and what does not. So let's talk to the guru. My special guest today, Melinda Wittstock, is a person I have been planning to invite for quite some time, and we are here today. So welcome, Melinda. Nice to have you here on the show today.
Oh, it's great to be here, and thank you so much for inviting me.
Welcome, welcome. And let me tell you a few things about Melinda. She has a long, long list of accomplishments. And to start with, she's CEO and founder of a company by name Verifeed, which is an internet marketing firm, and also CEO of Wings of Inspired Business. And apart from that, she does something very special for women entrepreneurs. She hosts podcasts, which goes by the same name, Wings of Inspired Business. Now, apart from that, she's an entrepreneur. She is a technology innovator. She is a businesswoman. She is internet marketing guru, and there is so much I can go on. The list is so exhaustive. Let
I've been a busy lady.
Yeah, I've seen your page. I know the extent of. I can understand what's happening in 24 hours in your life every day. So I get the idea. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, Melinda, and then what Verifeed does, and then I will have my questions for you. Go on.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've built 4 successful businesses into the 6, 7, and 8 figures in my life. It hasn't all been rosy. I've had as many failures as successes because that's the nature of entrepreneurship. And I'm a big, passionate believer in failing forward. Also, a big believer that what's going on internally within ourselves is a
Mhm.
predictor of our outer success. And entrepreneurship to me is like a personal growth journey as much as it is a business journey. And this is really important to say and put in the context of internet marketing. Because as you mentioned, there are a lot of people out there experimenting, only a few people and brands and businesses actually getting it right. And one of the biggest failings I find in internet marketing, whether it's email copywriting, sales funnels, or social media engagement and interactivity, is that it's often what happens is the brand or the business is just literally going, me, look at me, look at me, look at me. And nobody cares.
Right. Right.
People only care if it's relevant to them, if it helps them in some way, if it resonates in some way. And so I almost think social media is a misnomer because social is really about conversation. It's not
Conversation.
about
Right.
blasting out content and expecting anybody to care. And just connecting this to the thought about our own personal growth. is that when we show up really authentically, when we really walk our talk, and we really are, as entrepreneurs, in our zone of genius, or perhaps I should say our zone of guru-ness, and really speaking from mission and vision, we enroll people in that mission, people who have that same mission. And so it's risky though for a lot of people, because it means that you have to truly be yourself. And a lot of people, let me just cut to the chase, don't really like themselves very much. You know, that kind of inner chatter within us, right? About all the things we don't like about ourselves. This is why entrepreneurship is a healing journey, because as we heal that and we can really step into really truly why we're here in our earth suits in 2019, is we all have a problem that we are uniquely suited to solving. And the more you get in touch with that problem, the better an internet marketer you're going to be. So, so much of it, it might sound controversial, but so much of it is within.
Right. Melinda, that was well said. Now, see, I know we see this every day. There is a certain way of actually making your presence felt, being seen, being noticed. I understand that there are rules to social engagement, which not everyone understands, unfortunately. And many people start off doing things probably in the wrong way.
Let me break it down and make it super, super simple.
Right.
When you create value for other people, the money follows.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And so, if you're on social media and you're creating value and you're making the conversation about your customers or about the people that you want to be your customers, and not so much about you, and you're taking a genuine, now you have to be genuinely interested, right?
Genuinely.
Really, and care. So like if you start a conversation and try and engage people on social media, you've got to be there to basically answer and have that conversation. You have to genuinely care and make those people feel special. Now, it's a long game though. It's not, this is the thing, this is what I think stops a lot of people from doing this, because what I just said sounds incredibly labor intensive, and it is, because it means that you actually have to have conversations. You actually have to show up, you actually have to care. Now, here's the thing, and here's what I do with Verifeed, right? Because it's impossible to have really genuine conversations with 1 million people at the same time, even 1,000 people.
Right.
You have to be very, very clear about who your target market is and why they are your target market. And you really need to start with being genuine and delivering value for 10 people.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And then for the next 20. And here's what's going to happen. Those 10 people, if you really delight them and you're authentic with them and they love you, they're going to bring more people into it for you.
Right. I agree.
They're going to be
the referrals.
Yeah. Well, no, they become your best salespeople. By the way, we are, and there's a lot of research on this, we're 92% more likely on social media to trust someone, a third party, other than the brand or business trying to engage you.
Right.
So it behooves you to get your customers, or like to delight those 10 who bring in 10,000. And we see those multipliers all the time. We once engaged 10 people in a social conversation about an anti-aging cream for women, who amplified those conversations out to 9 million people.
9 million people
over a 6-week period, who all clicked on an Amazon page. We started with 10 people and just made those 10 people feel so special, so rewarded, so excited about the brand, so excited, not just about a face cream, but like a mission more important than them, right? Than a face cream. But this mission, that they began all these conversations. And the whole promise of social media is the network effects. It's social. It's not one-on-one. When you're having a one-on-one conversation, if you get it right, that one-on-one conversation becomes a 1 to 10,000 conversation.
1 to 10,000 conversation. Right. Got it.
Because you're relying on the inherent network effects of the platform.
Right. Now, see, there is this little question about, I don't know if uh, a lot of people in my audience have read about it or come across. But see, we hear a lot about this macro and nano influencers these days,
Mm-hmm.
right, on social media.
Yes. Yeah. So what we called them, Verifeed was very early to the party on this in like 2013. We were talking about what we called an everyday influencer.
Mm-hmm,
These were not famous people. They
mm-hmm,
were not paid.
mm-hmm.
They were just in it because they genuinely loved what you were providing and what you were talking about and your mission, and they
Right.
spread it for you. And so we started doing this so long ago, like really honestly, as an entrepreneur, really struggled because we had to educate like an entire world. People
Uh-huh.
thought like, what, that I, I don't get it. So what happened with influencer marketing is everybody went for the famous people,
Mm-hmm.
and you can do that, but it costs a lot. And
Costs a
by
lot.
the way, everybody now knows that those people are paid endorsers.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, maybe it works. It works for some brands as long as you have alignment between who's endorsing you and whatnot. It's not a bad strategy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a better strategy, though, to turn your happy customers into your virtual viral sales force. And so that's what we talk about with how we spur those conversations on. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I say start with the 10 people.
Mm-hmm.
Who are the 10 people who will game change? And they could be regular people. So when I talked to that example about the 10 women who drove more than 9 million others to click
Mm-hmm.
on an Amazon page,
Mm-hmm.
none of them were celebrities. None of them were paid. They were all just regular people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wonderful, wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about your podcast, Wings of Inspired Business, and what you
Ah,
actually do?
yes. Thank you. So, Wings is really a passion project of mine. A little over a year ago, I had just gotten, I think it was my own journey as a female entrepreneur where I'd so often been the only woman in the room, and I didn't really have a lot of female role models, and women were struggling to raise capital, venture capital for their businesses in the technology space. And I'm a tech entrepreneur as well. And there were a lot of things that I thought that really needed to be changed. And one of them is that there were so many women succeeding in silence, like doing amazing things with like 8, 9, 10-figure businesses, and no one had ever heard of them. And we didn't fit the stereotype of the entrepreneur, which is in the United States, the guy in his 20s who's dropped out of Harvard, MIT, or Stanford, and is kind of like sitting in his garage, like making something and eating ramen noodle. Okay, like too many carbs for women. Like we're watching our waistline. We're not going to eat ramen noodles. Like, no. And besides, women tend to come into entrepreneurship later in life when they've already established the confidence that comes with domain expertise. They've already either worked in a corporate environment or become an expert in something they've hired and they've fired. They've probably had kids already, and women really succeed as entrepreneurs into their 40s and 50s and 60s. It's a totally different risk profile. It's just completely different, but it was unacknowledged. And so I just set out to be the change that I wanted to see. I'm a big believer in mentoring other women. So I wanted to really create much more of an abundance mindset where women show up and help each other. We mentor each other. We promote each other. We buy from each other. We invest in each other. And so I started the podcast just by acclaiming like really great women and doing these interviews that contain a lot of practical advice, specifically aimed at women. But you know what? It's advice for all entrepreneurs, because if you want to know how Kara Golden, say, built a $2 billion business, that's not just for women. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right, right.
So, so I'm getting more and more and more male listeners, because I think of how many podcasts do I listen to where the only interviewees are men, and I learn from it. So why can't we flip that, and men can learn a little bit from us as well?
Yep.
So I started with this podcast. It grew super, super fast. I used a lot of the same things I use for my clients in Verifeed to
Mm-hmm.
grow my own podcast.
Hmm.
And I'm launching a second podcast now, which is called Wings of Inspired Relationship. And it's featuring entrepreneurial couples, men
Okay.
and women who are either married or together, and they either have
Oh,
different businesses or they're in business together. And what that looks like in terms of balancing a relationship at the same time as a business, with kids, with all of that. And I'm excited about that. And that launches on Valentine's Day, February
f-
14th, which is appropriate. And so that's really exciting. And then we also created a whole series of trainings for female entrepreneurs so they can manifest the confidence, connections, and capital they need to really succeed in business.
mhm.
And it's called Wings of Success. And there's a free summit that you can go to called wingssummit.com. And I've assembled more than 65 women, all with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-figure businesses, teaching everything they've learned across, everything from, oh my goodness, how to raise money, how to do business modeling, how to close sales, how to do personal branding, how to do, of course, social media,
Mhm.
self-care tips, mindset issues, a whole series of things which we combine into mindset, mojo, and money. And it's wingsummit.com. And that's been hugely successful. And we have a whole series of membership sites and trainings, and now a whole series of events this year as well, retreats that combine spa time
Mhm.
as well as the opportunity to connect deeply within ourselves and with each other and co-create and get a lot of great business advice and mentoring at the same time. So Wings, I've got 2 companies now. I've got Wings Media, which I'm the
Mhm.
CEO and founder of, all that began with a little podcast, and Verifeed.
Wonderful, wonderful. Melinda, I think we are reaching the end of the time slot here. Now, what's important here is that I have still not completed my list of questions to you.
Oh no, I'm
Pro-
sorry. I have a
Probably.
lot to say. Okay, I'll go.
No,
You
no,
do a
no, no,
lightning
no.
round with me, right?
No,
So I get them done really
what I was thinking was, is there a possibility of we catching up probably again, maybe sometime next month, say month end after
Oh
your
yeah,
launch or
I'd
something
love
for another
to. Yeah,
episode?
sure, absolutely.
My questions, I still have a lot of questions on influencer marketing. That's one. And apart from that, there are certain things on best practices of internet marketing, or say nuances of social behavior we have not covered. So I think you are the right person for me to ask those questions. I have other experts coming in, but they are experts on different topics. Someone's an expert in research. Probably you might have seen a few of my videos on my page. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
If you did that, you would see that I have some researchers, and I
Hmm.
also have my partner coming in now and then. We have some discussions that I post on market research and so on. So hopefully, I think we will be catching up again next month, and let's say.
Absolutely. Let's kind of. I like to geek out
Uh-huh.
on all these like tactics and strategies, and we can get really into the specifics next time
Right,
around. And
right, right.
yeah, so sorry for blowing through all that. I got a lot to talk about. You get to be my age
Yeah.
and you've done a lot of stuff. You get a lot of stuff to share. Yeah.
Yeah, today was actually I mean, we got to know about you, we got to know about certain rules and social media marketing, and I mean, certain important things we did cover, but that's not enough. We still have a long way to go, a long list of questions. So, guys, I think I will thank Melinda for being with us, for giving all that special advice and that great advice on social media marketing. And we still have one visit pending, I guess, from Melinda next month. So we will ask the rest of our questions then. If you do have any questions about social media marketing, something you need to know about best practices as startups, what you actually need to do, why don't you drop your comments and questions below once this video is posted, and then Melinda can get back to you directly, or I can answer those questions, or help you connect with Melinda. So you can message her directly, and probably also request her for her contact information, and then get in touch with her. So thanks again, Melinda. Nice talking to you. And thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. And I will look forward to seeing your comments. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.